Mantles is brought to you by
EXO Auto Works. EXO Auto Works is Colorado Springs' home of the $50 synthetic blend oil change. Call now, 719-375-3232, or visit exoautoworks.com to make your appointment.
Madrid Maintenance. Madrid Maintenance offers excellent handyman service in the Colorado Springs area, starting at just $45 an hour. You can reach them by phone at 719-963-2020 or online at facebook.com/Madrid Maintenance.
Enharmonic Studios. Enharmonic Studios is a hybrid digital analog facility designed to be quality and affordable to anyone who wants to make history. Call today, 719-963-2020, or go to facebook.com/Enharmonic Studios.
I'm going undercover as a woman to find out what they go through every day. I discovered that women are called faggot a lot.
Live from EXO Auto Works. Streaming all over the world.
We're coming for you, globalist!
It's your weekly dose of toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity.
With Eric Madrid. And Trevor Lane. It's Man Tools.
Hello, hello.
What's up, everybody?
Sorry about the late start.
It wasn't anybody's fault. It was the interwebs.
It was the interwebs, yes.
It was the interwebs.
Restart routers.
Restart router.
We're trying to get our guest
restart
back
a computer. Apologize to the guest. I think Larry just jumped on.
I think he's here. Let's see if it's working.
Let's see if we has the interwebs.
Larry, can you hear us? Larry, we can't hear you.
We has all our buttons on.
Yeah. Let me shoot him a thing.
We are live.
We are. Yes, this is what happens with a live show.
That's right.
It's fun.
It is fun. If you guys haven't checked out our merch, please do that. It's over at merch/mantoolsmedia.com. Or just go to mantoolsmedia.com and surf around.
You'll see it there.
You'll see it there.
There's a link.
You'll see that. We've got some cool affiliates. Definitely some sponsors. Supporting the Mangata today again because they're awesome. If you haven't checked it out, it's luxury men's underwear. Wouldn't even call it luxury. I'd call it a minimum now that we've lived in them for a few months. Holy, yeah, that is the best, the absolute best chonis I've ever that has ever graced my underpants.
All right. Well,
we're desperately trying to get Larry on the phone here because without him, this show is just going to suck.
Well, I'm going to pop him off, and I can still see him over here if he pops in. And I'm going to keep an eye on the email here.
On the email.
But in the meantime, we'll drive on, I guess.
Sure.
Not much else we can do. Should we go in order, or should we defer to the wheel of topics?
I mean, no. Let's just go in order.
Okay.
We've done the wheel of topics, and I think it did good. It did real good.
Well, in that case, we'll get into some news.
Let's hit the news. Whilst we're here.
All right. As you're about to see. Oh, by the way, happy 4th, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Got a nice little.
Everybody got all their
Hope
fingers?
everybody had a good 4th. I got to see a epic. Wasn't quite a fail, but it was real close with some fireworks. I went to a 4th of July thing on Saturday, and it was my boss, and he set off this thing. He'd been setting off some things that, they Roman candle type stuff and whatnot. And he pulls out this one where instead of a single tube, it's a little piece of cardboard that has like 4 tubes on each side. We're like, oh, this ought to be epic.
Yeah.
Well, they all went out to the sides.
Jesus.
It didn't go up at all, even though the tubes were pointed up. I don't know what happened.
Kaboosh.
But it blew out the sides, and everybody scattered and, ran for cover, and one of the neighbors' bushes caught on fire.
Oh, boy.
It was wild.
Well, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We are getting there.
All right, I'm texting Larry one more time.
Hey, Larry. I didn't do jack shit for the 4th. River Bottom's in the studio, so it was drum night, and I didn't even realize it was the 4th until it was like
Started hearing stuff.
I was like, you don't hear it in the studio. It's pretty quiet. And
there he is. All right,
let's jump on here.
Are you guys able to hear me?
there we go. Yes, we can.
We all
Perfect,
had the
perfect.
technical difficulties today.
Sorry about that.
Seems like it. No worries, guys. No worries at all.
Yeah, we had we started firing everything up, and it's like, you don't have internet, and we're like, what? So had to go in the back room here and reset all the routers.
That's always fun, right?
We turned it off and back on again.
Okay. But welcome to the show. Here, we'll pop out of the news and do some introductions. So, Larry, you put on your thing to make the appointment with us that you're a traditional man with American values. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. For the most part, I do things kind of old school. My wife, we recently just had a child, so she's no longer going to be working. She's going to be taking care of the child. I'll be providing all the income for the family. But aside from that, like, I change tires, I work on my own vehicles. I do everything when it comes to the house and the yard work and electrical, plumbing, just things of that nature. I like to pick up heavy things, and I eat meat, a lot of elk, a lot of bison, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. You said you hunted, so yeah.
Correct. I am in California, so it's not necessarily always looked at as the most awesome thing in the world. But I did tear my Achilles a little while ago, so I haven't had a chance to really get out. But typically around here it's deer, a lot of venison, but my meat of choice is elk. I think it's like the best beef in the world, in my opinion.
Well, we're out in Colorado, so come on out anytime.
Yeah, just bring a hammer because they're just everywhere. Doink. We have urban deer, and some of my clients are like, "Can you just get rid of these?" And I was like,
Not legally.
"Not legally."
It's like, well,
But that little female over there is going to end up in my freezer if I keep working on your yard. Yeah, it's nutty. There's this place called, the neighborhood's called Rock Room, and it goes up into a canyon. And they're just like rats. They're just everywhere.
Well, they come out in my backyard all the time, too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, around here we typically deal with, like, we got coyotes, a ton of, like, the biggest freaking raccoons you've ever seen.
Yep.
And then, like, the occasional, like, bear and whatnot, but we're in a relatively urban area, so we don't get it that often. But, we
Yeah.
get it here. I'm in a city called Tujunga, California.
Yeah, I live right at the base of Cheyenne Mountain, the home of NORAD, if you're familiar.
Unfortunately so.
Yeah. So, so it's like I'm in town, but not.
Yeah, you're in a weird spot down there.
I get bears going through. You got to be real careful with garbage because bears will come through and go through the garbage. So will raccoons, and they're fat ass raccoons because they're eating garbage all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
In fact, one night Oh, it was quite a while ago.
But we watched Mama Bear and her cubs just like.
And Mom was teaching them.
Teach
this
them
is
how
how
to
you get food.
rummage
You go
through
into the
trash
garbage
across the street. I was like, oh, bad day.
That's progress, though, right? That's
Well, speaking of
evolution
progress,
right there.
like his neighborhood's kind of fucked now because they put up a what was it, 80 or 180 unit multiplex.
All that apartment complex is going
right on the backside of your hill. The infrastructure is still a tiny 2-lane road.
Yes. Yep.
Gotta love it.
I was like, oh my God, guys. Right next to, not only that, right next to what we was a 60,000 seater sports arena / event arena.
Yeah.
Then that cross street is the entrance and exit for it.
Yep.
I mean, it'll do wonders for the property value. Not really going to do much in terms of your commute. Like, I would not make that trade personally. But then again, I don't really like people that much, so that kind of plays into it as well.
Nor do I.
Yeah, it's too many people peopling. Don't want to people today.
Agreed.
In fact, the wife and I are talking about moving, and we've even said, like, look, if it's out in the middle of nowhere and it's like a trailer, let's do it. Like, you know, it'd be a big downsize and stuff, but that just,
why not?
You know, I mean, all we'd be getting rid of is shit that we don't use anyway. So
pretty much, I can't do that. I said I was getting out of the trailer park and never going back. So,
well, it wouldn't be in a park. That's kind of the point. Like in the middle of nowhere. Like, I don't know. You got
it's a parked
2
trailer.
miles. That's true.
But it's his trailer park, so he's kind of you know, it's a little bit of an upgrade.
I don't know. I've lived in them. I don't know if I want to go back. I can't do it. I won't do it. I work every day, so I don't have to.
Well,
here's the thing. Wait.
Relatively easy to maintain. You can get to everything underneath. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have a plumbing problem, you can get to the exact pipe that's causing the problem by crawling under the trailer.
Yeah.
We got to get you a house with a basement, man. We got to get you a house with a basement. Like I
have one right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I have access to all my pipes here too, because like you guys I'm in my basement right now, and I mean, I could not go back to having a house where you have to worry about fishing stuff and trying to get to it. Like you have to be able to get and put hands on it.
I got no stock, or no dog in this fight because my basement's the studio and the upstairs is now gutted because it's reno time. I ran out of money, working on other people's shit, giving people money that didn't fucking need it really, but like just now it's all in that phase of there's flood cuts and there's no carpet and no flooring, no nothing. No fixtures. It's just sort of a Jonestown upstairs.
Well, on the bright side, you got easy access, hopefully, to the windows and everything in case FBI or the CIA comes hopping by, right?
Yeah. Don't look in the third bedroom, guys. Just don't do it.
Yeah, my wife and I say the same thing, but it's not because of that. So
yeah. Yeah. I'm putting in one of those cool ass cabinets, and it opens up, and then that closet's the gun safe.
John Wick in it, I see. John Wick in it, I see. That's the way to do it.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. That's the only thing that, like, people who come visit, really don't need to know and have access to. And it's not like anybody watches this show, so I didn't give anything away. It's just the three of us. So.
Oh, no, it's all secrets. No, I feel you guys when it comes to that. I play my cards close to my chest. I don't really like to let people what I know and what I do for the most part. Because especially like we kind of ran through this recently with the flu, or excuse me, with COVID, and how that kind of came through and changed everybody's mindset on the way the world works and how they felt like giving up their freedoms and things like that. Like that was one thing that was like, okay, I need to be quiet and not let people know what I do or what I have.
Yeah,
that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah. Yep. Because God forbid you like for a minute there, it was like. And we even got scared for a minute, but then it was like, wait, what? But we had this stupid executive order from our governor, we didn't do shows for like a couple of weeks, and then we were like, I don't think this is real.
I made the point of I was working for Lockheed Martin, and I had one of those little pieces of paper from the Homeland Security says, "Oh, you can do whatever you want." And I'm going there, work there every day. Nobody's wearing nothing. Nobody's doing anything. It's like, it's good. I'm like, what do you guys know that the rest of the world doesn't know? Okay. And then I'm driving home, and I remember calling you, and I said, if this thing was real and it's killing people in droves, why do we still have homeless encampments everywhere?
Right. Yeah. Wouldn't they be dead?
Wouldn't that be like the front line, like the pawns in the game? Wouldn't that? He's like, yeah, you had a point there.
I mean, you're talking to somebody in California, so homeless encampments are kind of like a fixture now. They're even on postcards, so I can completely relate to that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and I mean, for the most part, I mean, they seem to be doing just fine. Even when it came time for the jab and whatnot, they didn't really go get it, and they seemed just fine there too.
They sure as fuck weren't wearing masks. Well, unless they were robbing something.
This is true. This is true.
Which, by the way, that's been the net side effect. Is now no one thinks twice about someone with a mask walking into their store. And then if they get robbed blind, it's like, well, all right.
Well, I mean, for me, it's always been a thing about wearing a mask in a store. I'm a big black guy, so they're always going to be like,
Well,
there's always a little bit of a thought to it.
And I don't know if it's all over California. It might, but somewhere I remember reading fairly recently that now the thing is, if you're wearing a mask, you need to pull it down as you walk in so that the camera can catch your face, and then you can put it back up. And it's like, what?
Doesn't that kind of defeat the entire purpose of even wearing it to begin with?
Or my favorite was the Air Force Academy band was performing, and they had holes in the mask so they could
play their horns.
Yeah, the air instruments. Yeah, but it all makes sense. I mean, but
yeah,
if you look
it
at the
all
world
makes
through a
sense.
rational lens, if you look at the world through a rational lens, things just seem to start making you wonder how and why the message that's being peddled is being peddled even to begin with. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember being in middle school and pulling a practical joke, a prank, and it got, went a little too far. Now you got to live the lie. You're like, oh, whoops, that spread a little too fast.
It ended up working out a little bit better.
My
than you
uncle is
wanted
not
it to.
Slash.
Yeah, right? I don't have tickets to Guns N' Roses tonight.
It's like an episode of The Office. Everything kind of starts off.
Oh, yeah. And it snowballs. That snowball effect. Just everything sort of... I think it just got away from them. Like, oh, wait, just kidding.
Yeah.
Sorry. No, we better double down.
Quadruple, quintuple. Like, I mean, any number you can think of down.
Right.
I mean, even the fact to where there was actual information coming out that refuted everything that was said before, and you'd flip the channel and you'd still have another person saying the exact same news that was already disproven. It kind of shows you, like, hey, well, what really is going on here? But that's like way above my pay grade. And that
Right.
I'll let the mobs and the masses deal with that. I'll just stick to doing my own thing with my family.
Well, and I hope, like, I just hope some lessons were learned. But unfortunately, I don't see, like, I think the same. It's still going to be most people complying with whatever they say. Like, I don't know.
For a generation that grew up listening to Rage Against the Machine, there's a lot of people who just did what they told you.
Well, and Rage Against the Machine now rages for the machine. It
I know.
requires vaxes to go to the concerts and stuff. Yeah.
It's just funny how, like, time and money changes just about everything. You have the people that are anti-establishment until they become old enough to become the establishment. Yeah, and then, like, that same message it gets perverted just a little bit to where all of a sudden we're at where we're at right now. You have massive companies who have entire departments that are designed around marketing that are going with ideas and plans that are to the minority of the population. And that just, I mean, from a business sense, it doesn't make sense, but I don't know, maybe there's something I personally can't see.
Well, I've mentioned this a couple of times, but I think it's companies like BlackRock, who is from what I understand, mostly Chinese owned, and they either lend or just directly give money to these companies, these big corporations. So they own like a huge piece of. Think of any big corporation. They own a large enough piece that they can tell them what to do. It may not be the majority share or whatever, but they own enough of it that they can go, yeah, even if we lose money with this bad decision, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And that's why you see Disney making movies that tank, and they know exactly why they're tanking.
Yeah.
And they're not going to change anything about it. They're going to keep delivering this woke, everybody's gay message.
You would literally think
The family unit is evil.
Yeah.
You know, so many. So it's okay to, watch TV shows about diddling little kids. It's just fine. Go ahead.
I mean, just the complete sexualization that they have of teens and children nowadays, it's ridiculous. And the fact that we consume it on such a regular basis and we make it to where that is the norm, that is what we are expected to see and do. That to me is insane. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around that.
Well, and here's what's wild. Like, all that's true. But then I've mentioned a couple of times that if you got a bunch of burlesque dancers, which, let's face it, that's what drag is trying to be. Drag queens are trying to be. It's men that are like, let me dress up like a burlesque dancer, right?
Okay.
So if you did burlesque story hour, do you think parents would be okay with it?
Exactly.
For the most part, no. But somehow when you go, but they're gay,
it's okay.
It's fine. They're gay men. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things, again, it's like someone's gender or their identity, I don't care. As long as they're not doing anything to me or harming anyone, let them do their thing. But the fact that this is not what would be accepted on the other end of the coin, you wouldn't accept a bunch of strippers coming and reading to kids dressed in stripper garb, but we're going to accept it because it's what we're supposed to be accepting of sexuality around our, toddlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very accepting of your sexuality. That's why God invented bedroom doors. Just keep that shit at home.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone that's not a part of the alphabet community, if they're out there and they're talking about like their sex life with their wife or with their mistresses or whatever it may be, that's something that becomes hush hush and taboo. You can't say that. But as long as you say, wait, but we're the same sex. Oh, okay, it's all right. It's all right. Everything's good to go.
Or even we're straight with extra steps. like
I like that.
Like he's
I like that.
He's a trans man and I'm a trans woman. It's like, well, so you're straight? No.
How dare you misgender me? How dare you?
That's not what's happening here. It's like, okay.
I said something. I was talking to this gal last night, and I said something. She was asking me about whatever. She's like, my son's trans, and I was like, and like it's not that's neat, whatever. I'm sure you guys are doing your thing. She said, she's like, that's interesting. Most people get all up, uppity or whatever about it. And I was like, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I have zero investment in what's in anyone's pants unless I'm fucking them.
Correct.
End of story. I don't care. You're
It's
cool.
like-
I'm cool. We're cool. If you're not a dick, like, don't be a dick. Or did I misgender that? Don't be an ass. Everybody's got an ass. Don't be an ass. Just be cool. Be fun. Have a good time, and don't pee on my Wheaties if you're having a bad day. Like don't fuck with kids. Don't fuck with animals. Don't fuck with retarded folks or old people. Like it's pretty easy being a grown ass man in this day and age. Like it should be. Don't do math.
Agreed.
Pay your bills on time and don't beat your woman. It's super easy. It's super easy.
It's like bottom of the rung, and then we still have people slipping off.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Like we've got some seriously low hanging fruit. Like you guys are both married, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you. I was there. Not the night, but I was there during the day. Like, But Trevor's seen me go through in the last 10 years of just I wouldn't call it a myriad, 3 or 4 people that long term sort of like, hey, you're awesome, let's do the thing. All right, well, cool. We're gonna. No, that's not what they want. It's not at all. It's this. It's a it's a different mentality, and these are women my age, so mid 40s or late 40s, early 40s when we started this whole debacle. The it's a short term serial monogamy situation. I pay my bills. I do my thing. Do you? Not all of them, honey. Like a fucking had to. What? I'm not gonna argue. Yeah, you paid him. Sure, you paid him. Whatever. Yeah, you did it all by yourself. Yep. You. Good for you. No, you didn't. But, like I have my house and I have my things and I have it my way, and I'm like, that's cool. Now, there's 2 parts to this. One, that sucks because now you're not at all interested in cohabitating unless it's under your roof and your situation and completely your rules. And I'm like, well, I would consider myself a modern man saying, well, shouldn't we compromise? It would be our place, our way, our rules. No, I don't want to do that. And that's been very consistent in the last 10 years of trying to date and like trying to build a life with somebody. It's it's a comment, I don't know, on the way women or society has been putting this. I need to date a loser so that he can just move in with me and I can have my shit my way. That's the long part of this point I was trying to get to. So I can have my shit my way, but now I'm fucking mad because all he does is sit around and play video games.
Because he's a loser.
Because he's a loser and he just sits around and smokes weed all day. Not that there's anything wrong with smoking weed all day on your day off, but like, whatever your thing is. But Monday morning, like, get back to work.
Yeah, it's like that weird duality that a lot of women, from what I see, like thankfully I've been with my wife for now 13 going on 14 years, but I can see it to where it's women want the soft guy that's going to kind of bend and be pliable to what they want, but at the same time they want a guy that's 6 foot tall. They want a guy that goes out and is the primary breadwinner and is able to protect them and take care of them, because those are still primal urges and needs that women have. And it's like you can't necessarily get both. You're not going to find a guy who's willing to go out, bag a deer or defend you if someone kicks your door down, and at the same time go pick daffodils and skip with you. It's like it's going to be very hard to find,
The last thing I
that in
want to
one
do
person.
is go to the fucking, yeah. I don't want to go to the butterfly pavilion. What part of that sounds fun to me? It does not sound fun to me at all. I mean,
100% agreed with that. Nothing
or
about that
can I bring my
sounds
laser
fun.
pointer and like scope them distance for sniper? Like, can I do that? That would be cool. At least I'm doing something.
Yeah, like something that's like relatively productive. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Something. It's yeah, I was gonna say something else too that kind of popped in there. Oh, I've been on both ends of the spectrum where one gal I was dating made a lot more money than I did, sort of, when I moved to California. I was like, yeah, but in Colorado money, that's right what I make in Colorado.
I
Like
see.
$140,000 a year equates to like 60 here. Well, it did then. It's probably less now or more now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A
But I
lot
was
of
like,
Californians have migrated your way, so yeah, it's
yeah,
gonna
I was
look a
like,
little different
economy's
now.
a scale, honey. Like, we make the same amount of money, basically, but I got to live there now. And now, it's not the same. And then, I've had another gal just made a lot less and was pissed off that I made more. I'm like, do you like going to Florida for free? Do you really like going to the Ren Fair whenever you want? You like that pocket money? Like, what's the problem? I don't get it.
Independence. They all like to say they want to be independent. And what are they independent of? They're independent of the need of a man. And like that to me is just it's mind-boggling. It takes 2 people, it takes 2 incomes, or it takes 1 income and another person willing to pull the weight at home in order to have a
Sure.
successful family nowadays, because it's crazy out there. You either spend that second income on having someone babysit and raise your kid with their ideals, or you can have that time and allow, your partner or your wife to be at home and take care and raise your child the way that they want to be raised based on your personal family values. I think that's why there's so much confusion. because you'll have a kid go out to school and they'll get one message, and depending on who the teacher is, or whatever the teacher is feeling that day, they're going to get something that could be topsy turvy, versus when they come home to your home, and it's a lot more quote unquote normal, of just a traditional life, a traditional way of doing things, and people having an equivalent exchange of values and making sure that the team wins. But I think everyone getting trophies, I think that has a little bit to do with it. Like, there has to be
Well,
winners and losers.
and there's also the thing that, for lack of a better word, the feminist movement, and there's more to it behind that. I would call it kind of like a cultural Marxist type of thing. But when it comes to how women want to be independent now, that the face of that was the feminist movement of the 60s, right? And it has sold them this bill of goods that somehow, if you partner with a man and raise your children, that is slavery, but punching a clock for a corporation is not.
It's like, don't be a slave to your family, be a slave to
Yeah.
the
Be a
corporation and the
slave to
king.
Conglommo Corp.
Yeah.
It's
Made
like,
by Blammo.
exactly. I wonder who would have wanted that message to be the prevalent
I
message
wonder. I
in
don't
American
know.
society. Like, a lot of times I think about, well, why hasn't income and how come wages haven't scaled with the cost of living? It's like, well, you had an entire workforce that was the other half that wasn't working before. They come into the workforce. So now you can pay people less, and you don't have to necessarily pay people that have been there as much, or give them as large a raise, because now it's like, well, I can have, John and Jane both do the job versus just John doing the job here. And it's like, who wins are the corporations, and a lot of times, like, the people. And then, like, that's like when it comes to race and shit like that, that's not really as much to do with it in terms of, as unless it's the color green. And if it's the color green, gold, or silver, that's when it really starts to matter. That's when it really starts to get to the nitty gritty, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the only ones I see.
Agreed.
I
Agreed.
just, yeah, I need to make some money because I want to buy more guitars and I want some more shiny things in my studio, and I want to go travel places, and that takes money. And my investments, they're not doing that great, so I got to go bust my ass. And, I'm responsible for 3 mortgages. I got mine, I got my guys. Like, if I don't go out and hustle and get us work, what the fuck are they going to do? They are not entrepreneurial, spirited gentlemen. They are punch a clock, do the job, be proud of it, and go home, guys. They don't want to be the boss. They don't want to wear the crown. They don't want to be the king. That's fine. Absolutely.
Agreed.
Get to work. Get to work, and I'll pay you well, and we'll have a good day. And I got to say this about my guy yesterday. He apparently was in a shit mood, pissy, bitchy, fussy, apparently all day with him and his old lady, right? Didn't see an ounce of it at work. Dropped him off. He's a little he's a little behind. He doesn't have a car right now. We're working on it. Getting him some extra hours here and there. We'll get him a car. We'll get him back on the road. Had no idea he was in a pissy, bitchy, fussy, catty little mood. His old lady's like, "Hey, I dropped him off. She works at a bar, so I dropped him off, hang out, said hi." She's like, she's like, "I hope you got him in a better mood today because he's been a shit witch all day." And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I thanked him for that this morning. I was like, "Hey, man, I heard you had a really shit day yesterday and you had some home stuff. I'm really glad you didn't fucking bring it to work." He's like, "Yeah, no problem." I was like, "Awesome. What a guy."
Yeah, it's like, and that is rare nowadays. Like, it's
I was
super
like,
rare
what a
nowadays.
guy. I mean, the first thing out of my mouth when I get here to Man Tools, I'm like, "Trevor, my life sucks. I'm going to tell you all about it. Boy, I haven't seen you in a week." Yeah, total bitch.
But see, that's with your friend, and that's off the clock. If you're working,
Yeah.
you just get the job done, and you can. But it's an escape. It's just like if you're at the gym, if you're in the sauna or in the cold plunge, it allows you to kind of escape that moment of insanity. Because there's been times where I have shitty days at home, but you go to work and you do what you got to do, and then you go home and then you deal with the shit. you don't deal with the shit and share it with everybody because now everyone's in your business. And
Yeah.
no one's really interested about what you have to say unless they're trying to get some kind of dirt on you. So, I mean, it's compartmentalizing.
It bugged me because I couldn't go into Lowe's for a hot minute because my ex-girlfriend would always bring all that shit to work and they'd all know about it. And I go in there because I got to work and I got to buy stuff. I got to do the thing. And I get sideways looks from these motherfuckers. I was like, oh, God damn it.
That's why you got to go to a different store.
I was like, fine. Now, they're so far apart. Like, it's such a pain in the ass. You're working down in Fountain. That's like the closest thing. Or you got to go another hour round trip. I'm just like, why you got to... I agree with that. My mom used to say, my granddad used to say, just, we don't argue in public. We're not going to do it. Well, you can have a little bit of a spat or whatever, but on lockdown. And we do this shit at home. People don't need to know what's happening. Which
I would agree.
brings me to the whole interwebs thing, like the posting of every 5 minutes of
people that post their dirty laundry is
dirty
worse.
laundry. Or my favorite, like, what was that thing? Seth MacFarlane's guy. What is his name? Peter Griffin. Oh, in hospital now. Don't want to get into it. Like what? The begging, the vague baiting of please talk to me or please pay attention to me.
Yep. My my wife has a friend from high school who does that all the time. You know who you are. But they'll post, it's something like that, like, oh, it's really having a bad time with blah blah blah, and people are like, oh, how can I help? Oh, nothing. You can't do anything. And it's like, no, what he wants is you clicked on the thing and now we're commenting. He just wants the attention. It's the attention.
It's that dopamine hit.
Conflated self-worth.
Conflated self-worth, and then everyone else just thinking that they have an opinion that matters, or not even necessarily an opinion that matters. They just want to feel like they have friends. It's like, I remember when like MySpace first came out, and then like when I was a younger guy, they're like, oh, let's compare your friend list to my friend list. Well, I have 75 friends. I've got 125. And then it got to a point, and I was just like, none of this shit matters. I don't even talk to these people. Like, what is the point of any of this shit?
Right?
Yeah, or even worse now like Instagram and Twitter both call them followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not leading you anywhere.
No, but gotta get those.
What are you talking
follows,
about?
Man.
I need followers.
I'm just gonna say, Instagram is a dating app for women who are in a relationship.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it fucking is.
Well, that's why a while back we talked about this. It's that. Is it the Whatever podcast? I think is what it's called. It's kind of dating.
The guy up in I think it's San Diego or Santa Monica. He always has like girls come on the podcast.
Yeah. But one of them was like, now that I have a steady boyfriend, I'm shutting down my Instagram, and everybody was like, and she's like, no, it only, and the guys were like, that's so refreshing to hear.
Yeah,
but the other girls were like, what? How can you? And she's like, it's just OnlyFans without showing my tits.
That's so true.
And she's right. It is. So she was like, I can't be in a committed relationship and have that. So she's like, I'm going to shut it off. If things go south and we break up, then I'll turn it back on. But while me and him are together and I'm monogamous to him, and she's like, and one of the girls asked, are you making him shut it off? And she's like, no, because for guys, it's different. It's not the same thing. For him, it's him showing, I don't know what he did, an actor or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Because it is in California, so everybody's something, a writer or whatever the fuck he is. It's him displaying his work. She's like, for me, it's just me showing my tits without actually showing my tits.
Right.
Which is exactly. They're just covered by a bikini.
Which is exactly what I do. I show my tits. I mean, I have two businesses. It's all business stuff.
The left one and the right one?
Yeah.
Two businesses.
That's right. It's two businesses.
But she was like, and now they belong to him. So I'm going to, they're not for anyone else to see. If he wants to post pictures of me, that's a little different. But I'm shutting down my page will no longer be there. You can't, that was the other thing that got brought up immediately was like, the other thing that happens with girls is they immediately get DM'd by guys, no matter what. It doesn't matter what you look like, what you're, maybe it's for your Etsy page or whatever. You're
Just fucking
some
hot
dude.
dogs.
Yeah. So she's like, I don't need any of that. I'm shutting it down.
No, I 100% agree. I personally, for me, I think a lot of that issue is coming from weak men. Because when I was younger and I was dating chicks, I mean, there was just things that I would not allow women to get away with doing if we were going to be in any kind of relationship, even if we were just hooking up. Like there's just certain things that I have that are standards. And a lot of guys now they're like, "Oh, I'm just secure in that." And I don't it's like, dude, you want to just sit there and advertise a vehicle that you've already purchased? That is dumb. That is dumb. If the car is not for sale, don't put a for sale sign on the damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It makes no sense. And guys are too afraid to put their foot down because they think the woman's going to leave. And they're afraid they can't get another woman to replace that woman. I'm of the firm belief that if you're a man and you stand firm in your square, you'll be able to attract something to you. It might not be that 9 or 10, but it might be a 6 or a 7 that you can trust your life with. And that's worth a lot more to me. Especially with
Very
like all the
true.
fillers and fake breasts and fake asses and fake lips, like with all that stuff going around now, it's like I'll pass. Like I'm so happy to be out of the dating scene. Like there's no way I would want to do anything in this dating scene. It's
Well,
insane.
I've half joked, but I'm also half serious. Like, if my wife was to die tomorrow, and I went through the requisite grieving process and whatever, and was ready for something, I think I would just do hookers. Like, you know what I mean? Why am I going to put up with the dating nonsense? I think I'm going to move to Nevada where it's legal. Maybe I'll be a regular at the Bunny Ranch. I don't know, but I'll, like.
Well, don't forget.
Why would I go through Tinder and I'm going to cut out all the middlemen. I'm just going to go, here's cash. You know what I want.
Transaction.
Yeah.
But don't forget, widowers are hot. Women love widowers. Like my wife and I, we make this joke all the time. It's from I think This Is 40.
You stuck around until she died.
Yes. It's like high five.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always going to be someone out there looking at cocksucker away your sadness.
Well,
when you're
but I mean, my thing is like, okay, so if something happens, I'm not necessarily going to be closed off to it, I guess, possibly, but I'm also not going to put myself out there on Tinder and Plenty of Fish and eHarmony or any of that bullshit. Nah. I'm just going to, get the needs met. And whatever happens,
It's
cheaper. Honestly, it's a lot.
And this is all
cheaper.
after my wife dies. I'm going to reiterate that. This is after my wife dies. I am happily married. I'm not doing this right now.
So you don't have any trips planned to Nevada, is what you're saying, right?
No.
You got to come home. She's going to have a rolling pin waiting on you as you walk through the door.
She doesn't watch the show.
Okay. No. It's safe.
No, nobody does.
I know my wife is more than likely upstairs watching the show, so I'm definitely on my P's and Q's. No, but I can totally get that. I mean, like, this dating scene is just so trash. You look around and you see what people are doing and, like, what hoops people are jumping through just to get a piece. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper to go pay somebody, get your nut, and go about your day.
Well, if you go into it like I did, where I was like, look, I'm not looking for the one night thing. I really want to build a life. I want to do this thing. Like I really enjoyed, I enjoyed long-term adventure. Like, figure this out, figure that out, do this thing, build this, build that, create this, whatever the path sort of, you have a plan, but you also are flexible. I love fucking road trips where I'm like, all right, well, we're going that way, and whatever happens, happens. We have enough gas to make it this far. So there's just a framework, but you got to go. And they're very keen and very like, yes, this is exactly what I want. This is amazing.
Shit.
Oh, just kidding. That's not what I want. I'm like, yeah, apparently.
It's like, thanks for letting me know sooner,
Yeah. You could have said something a lot sooner.
Well, that brings me to one of the news stories we have on tap tonight. The share of 40-year-old Americans who have never been married has hit a record high. And I think all of kind of what we're talking about is part and parcel of it. The share of 40-year-old Americans who have never been married reached a record high in 2021, according to Pew Research. 25%. 25% of 40-year-olds remained unmarried in 2021, which is up 20%. So it doubled
Oh my God.
in a decade from 2010.
Wow.
The share of
That is-
unmarried 40-year-olds has steadily been increasing since 1980, when just 6% of the age group had never been married. Another stat that I had heard recently that was alarming is that the percentage of men 18 to 30 who are virgins has now flip-flopped with women who are in the same age group that are virgins. Like almost no women in that age group are virgins, and tons of men are.
Yeah, it's like the top 4%. They're banging all the chicks.
Yeah.
Everybody else is stuck there holding their dick, so to
Yep.
speak.
Um,
Man, that's
and
a
a
scary
while,
stat.
a while back, Jordan Peterson caught some flack because he was throughout a term from psychology that didn't quite mean what the press thought it meant. He threw out the term enforced monogamy, and he wasn't saying that like it should be illegal. It was just that there are cultures where it's frowned upon to take every dick that comes your way. It's basically, he was a little more technical. And, yeah. And he's like, that's no longer the case. That's why you end up with the phenomenon of incels. Partly, he was like, you're always going to have some people that are just not going to get laid. But when there's no longer a stigma,
Sitting right here, bro.
when there's no longer a stigma for women to be easy, number one, and even within that, women don't care as much now if they find out that you're with other girls. If you're a man, they're just like, cool.
The right man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
if you're one of the high, as they call it in some of these circles, high value men, then they're like, that's fine. So those two things kind of go together. And then now, I mean, I'm not surprised by this, that, yeah, of course no one's getting married when that's going on.
Well, The Bachelor ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, The Bachelor, social media, just the fact that...
A show about a dude dating a bunch of women, watched by a bunch of women who hate it when their dude dates a bunch of women.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, right?
Perfect sense.
All of it adds up.
It's like, pick me. That's all I could see every Tuesday night when I was living in California. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna hit the dusty trail, go do something else. Not watching this drivel. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's insane. Social media has kind of had that effect too, because it turned all those high value men into the Bachelor. It's like you got this one guy who's in the NBA, and he can fly a girl out from California, from Nevada, or from Alaska if she's hot enough. And now she thinks that she deserves a guy at the level of, 6'10", making a couple $1 million a year.
We'd like to apologize to all of our Alaskan women listeners for that remark. We realize that you're wearing 6 layers of parkas and carrying little bags of string and haven't shaved in 3 days, but we apologize.
We love you anyway.
Man Tools cares.
It's an insane world we live in nowadays. I mean, I feel like I got off of the ride just at the right time, because that was before social media really took off. Like Twitter became a real big thing.
Dude,
Instagram.
I could not imagine growing up as a teen with social media. Like,
Thank you.
Last week we talked about, I guess now if you're on a debate team, you're off outside of the debating, personal Twitter comes into it.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I forget what kind of tournament it was. I don't know what level, if it was like national or whatever, but so a team did the debate right. they stuck with the subject matter and made their points. And the other team's rebuttal was, that guy's racist. And they showed some tweets from his Twitter page. And the judges went, yeah, this isn't cool. You're a racist. And judged based on that. And it was like, well, you didn't actually make any points that refuted their points. And they're like, yeah, that's not, I guess now that's not the goal. If you can attack them personally and just say they're a bad person, then anything that they said with their argument doesn't matter.
It's like, regardless of how much truth it's wrapped in, it's like,
Well,
I'm sorry,
and by the way,
it doesn't work.
They showed the tweets. They're very innocuous, but it's like anything today. Oh goodness, if you want to, I think it had something to do with the Supreme Court's now done decision, but at that point, upcoming decision on affirmative action, and they went, of course, that's racist. If you want affirmative action struck down for college admissions, that's racism.
If you was it Michigan? They're trying to get a
the pronoun bill.
Bill.
Yep.
Class 6 felony if you misgender somebody. Hey, there have been many times when I was pissed drunk at a rock concert and somebody in leather pants and long hair. I said, "Excuse me, ma'am." Dude turned around and he's like, "What's up, bro?" I'm like, "Will you hurry up? We all got pee." Like, Porta Johns are outside, you know the thing. You're like,
That's a scary world. I mean, how in the world would that be able to be passed when we have the Constitution? You know?
But the audacity to even bring it up in conversation, let alone bring it up for legislation, is absolutely beyond me.
That makes two of us. I mean,
can't
that
even.
makes two of us.
The audacity that you would even think that that is a thing that you could even begin to enforce, like, it baffles me completely.
Everyone's talking about feelings. I mean, what happened to just saying, "I'm sorry" or "my bad"? I mean, it really will be like Russian roulette. If you meet somebody, you're like,
"Oh,
I
got one for you.
I
got one for you. Here you go. Here's some good in the world that I did." So the band that's coming in this week and was doing their thing, their drummer was super excited to get there. I had a shitwitch of a client. It wasn't really her fault. It wasn't really my fault. I was out working, doing the other stuff. I missed him by like 30 minutes. He was at the house. I didn't make it home, and I didn't have the phone. I was drilling into concrete, so it takes a hot minute. And right now, I don't know what time it is because it's this time of year where we get like 14 hours of sunshine, and it feels like 3 o'clock, but it's really 5:30.
Yeah.
Here's what happened. I apologized profusely, and I said that was unprofessional. I missed your call. I have no excuse. I didn't tell him I had a shitwitch bitch client. No, I said I have no excuse. That is very unprofessional of me. I am very sorry for that this happened. And if you're available, tomorrow, like where we're regularly scheduled, or if you'd like to come back, I'm heading back now. And he said, "No, I'll make it tomorrow." And he said something. I don't remember exactly what it was. He said, I'm pretty ticked off that, I'm having to do this thing. And I said, "No, I understand. And it's not just that I wasn't there and it was unprofessional." I said, "I kind of ruined the whole week for you because you were super excited to come out and fucking play your music and do your thing, and you're in the studio. I realized I kind of knocked down that whole excitement level for you. And for that is why I'm really upset with myself, and I'm really sorry." We're both grown-ass men. He's in his 50s. Like, he was like, that has never happened to me before. Like, just to say, I fucked up, it's my fault, and offering no excuses, and saying, I really understand why you're upset, and I really don't want that to happen again. I would like to offer you, I'll carry all your drums in if you bring, and you know what, guys, $200 off. I missed this part of the session. That's on me. That was in group chat. The other part was just personal. He's like, "I've never had anybody own their shit before. Ever." I was like, "That's just how we roll. That's how I roll. This family does this is how we do it." I mean, I fuck up. I'm the first one with my hand up. Trevor and I argue, and we're arguing over something. And the first thing, the minute I know that he's right, I'm like, my bad, move on. It's like,
You got me.
got it.
Got me.
Which is every time.
Every
but,
time.
Yeah.
And it only takes about 30 minutes before I understand because I'm not arguing to be right.
It's like, no, Eric, 2 + 2 is 4.
How dare you?
Corey Glover said 1 and 1 is 3. Living Color's like my favorite band.
Oh,
But
it's funny. Accountability is in such short supply today. There was a shirt I was going to wear, but I didn't want to be too, out there. It says the future is female, but female is crossed out, and then it says accountability underneath it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. What did I find today and I posted on our site? It was
the feminine hygiene aisle.
feminine hygiene aisle, and it was tacos.
It's like, yep.
Yeah, it was Mission Tacos. I was like,
Feminine.
ooh. I was like, checks out.
Or feminine products.
Feminine products.
Sorry. It didn't say hygiene, yeah.
Yeah, tacos.
I mean, it kind of works both ways. So
Yeah,
I
it
think
does,
you're
because
safe.
if she's pissed off, the second to last argument I got into, it was like, like, do you need food? Do you want tacos?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, then. We're fucking going to get tacos.
Pause this and we'll get tacos, and then we'll keep talking.
We went and got tacos.
I mean, anytime is a good time for a taco. So I mean, it's kind of hard. That's a pretty much a win-win there. It's like
That's a
even if she's upset-
win-win-win. It's like, I do not want to argue. Because, again, I argue for understanding. I don't argue just for the sake of it or to be right. I just need to understand. So, like, well, no, why did this happen? Well, how did that work? Or where did this go? And I get accused by everyone I argue with, like, you're interrogating me. I'm like, well, kind of, yeah. This is sort of a vetting process because I don't understand why you're a fucking retard and you're saying the stupid shit that's coming out of your mouth right now. So explain to me. And if I miss something and I'm uneducated at the moment, maybe, and then the minute I go, oh, now that information, oh, you did that because of this and this and this. Got it. All right. My bad. Let's go get tacos.
I think an argument with you sounds like a win however it goes. It's like you'll
it does,
admit
yeah.
you're wrong and you get tacos.
Oh, yeah. I got my ass handed to me by my manager in college for the radio station. And I knew I was getting written up. And he goes, well, you did this because I did some shit that I wasn't supposed to do. And they were really cracking down on it. And I went overboard. You're not supposed to play double shots or whatever during this time of day. It's supposed to be formatted and blah, blah, blah. Fuck that. I played 5 Van Halen songs in a row. I was like, yes, it's Eddie's birthday.
Fuck a double shot.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, I was like, no. We're playing.
Especially if it was like his 50th. That's a decade
that's
of.
a decade.
Yeah.
That was exactly
Free
what it
song,
was.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. He remembers this story. And I got written up and I got in there and they're like, he was a bit younger than me. He's like, he's just fussing and he's ready to, and I was like, hey guy, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah.
That was the guy that would expect you to break into songs with station breaks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. And he's like, he's super frustrated. And I was like, so, all right, so we got the write-up to thing. You got the paperwork? Okay, cool. Signed it. I was like, all right, there's my first write-up and, blah, blah. All right. So you guys want to go to St. Ives? Which is like a little pub eatery thing that we always was. He's like, but you're not upset? I'm like, no, I fucking did it. I know I did it.
I knew it was against the
I know I
rules.
was in trouble. Sign the paper. You want to go get tacos or what? Like, let's go.
He's like, you had me at
you had to
tacos."
be the hammer. I don't know. Half of me might have been teaching him a life lesson about being the hammer. Like, stick to your guns, and you got to write me up, even though we're friends.
I'm telling you, people forget these things. Like
Yeah.
the normal things that help make a society move. People seem to forget it. I mean, it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to admit you're wrong. It doesn't mean your entire life is over because you missed out on one argument,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. It's completely insane. And I think that plays into a lot of what we see like on social media. Like you get no mistakes. If you make one fucked up comment when you're a kid or when you're in your teens or if you're pissed off after getting broken up with, that literally can scar you for life nowadays.
Sure.
Well, and it's in writing, which removes any context, especially if it's being read later. It's like, I wish there was like a sarcasm font or
I know there needs to be. There needs to be, and not only
or
that,
joking italics somehow.
there are precious few times when I've been too busy to explain things, or because I've already had the long conversation with the client of how it's supposed to be, but they disregard us and then just want to do it their way. They got my guys are. I don't have time to explain it to them in front of God and everybody. And I've laid this one down, the tyrant, and I call it the tyrant. I just say, whose name's on the fucking sign? And they're like, yeah, mine. Just do it this way, and then we'll go get tacos.
That's gonna be on a T-shirt somewhere.
I know. It
We'll
is.
go get tacos.
Poor Kalen was so pissed because he's a good framer and he's a good flooring guy. And she wanted it done this way, and I didn't have time to explain it in front of her and him because she's micromanaging us. Like, yeah, bro, I know this is fucked. You and I both know this is fucked. You and I both know we'll be back here in a month to fix it. Let's get it done. I just said, hey, man, my name's on the sign. Just do it this way. He gets in the truck. He's like, that was really fucked up of you to say. I was like, bro, I had to just, like, cut that conversation off. And then I told him why, and he's like, oh. You basically, he's like, you fell on the sword. I'm like, yeah, I had to be the asshole to make it just seem like she was getting her way and everything was running smooth. It's like, I'm sorry to do that to you. He's like, no, you're good. You're fine.
Taco time.
Tacos.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, we're gonna pay some bills,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna do the week in history, and then we'll get out of here. So
it's been that long.
It has been that long. Yes.
Damn, what a good conversation.
So we'll pay some bills real quick with a little commercial here, and then we'll come back with the week in his story. So don't go anywhere.
On my way over here, my brakes made an awful noise, and the last time I got them done, it was so expensive.
You should go to EXO Auto Works. They did a great job on mine, and it was way cheaper than anywhere else I've been.
That sounds great. I need to get their number from you.
At EXO Auto Works, we offer the best price on brake service in town. We include brand new brake pads, rotors, and hardware, which saves you money and gets you on the road faster. See our website for a full list of our services. Call EXO Auto Works today.
Do you have a bastard child fathered by intergalactic serial philanderer and deadbeat dad, Starfleet Captain James T. Kirk? If you answered yes, you may be entitled to retroactive child support payments. Thousands of single mothers throughout the galaxy are now demanding financial compensation from Mr. Kirk and his employer's Starfleet Command and from the United Federation of Planets for the willful abandonment of offspring and the neglect of parental responsibilities and obligations. You've already been screwed by Kirk at least once. Now it's your turn to put the screws to him. Contact the law firm of Shrayan, Orion, and Chappell at hailing frequency 1701A.69 and take your free paternity test today.
Eligibility for representation is contingent upon confirmation of paternity and desertion of parental responsibilities. In the likely event of a legal victory, all plaintiffs will receive an equal.
Comes to his end in the gutter, fitting climax to a life.
And first on the flank, get it started. It's fired and it's right.
All right, before we get into the week in his story, of course, everybody knows that the historically best investment is precious metals. And the best place to get those is noblegold.com. And you should get them through us because
it's the only way to gold.
Get some gold in your portfolio. Go to gold.mantoolsmedia.com and you can get a free gold-backed IRA kit and learn how to get some gold into your retirement funding.
Yep.
It's great. Gold, silver. They do pretty much any precious metal you can think of. Platinum. I don't know about gold pressed latinum from Star Trek, but maybe something like that.
That's another thing yet. But like we had a guest on the show a while back that had a 401k that was not invested anywhere, and it just doesn't. If you don't do anything with it, it doesn't do anything. So, look into gold. Go to gold.mantoolsmedia.com. This week in his story, it was a busy week. I mean, there was a country that was born. You know, there was some paperwork that happened.
Well, that was last week, actually.
Well, you know, it's been a week. No, that was this week.
No, that was the 4th was last week.
Trevor, it's the 6th.
Uh-huh. Actually, it's the 7th. The 4th was part of our last, because it starts from today's date.
July 6th.
All right, it's the 6th.
Okay, because
I'm a day off, but it's still, we're going to go with what I got because I already wrote the script. July 7th, 1945.
There we go.
Operation Overcast begins in Europe, moving Austrian and German scientists and their equipment to the United States. Of course, this would morph into what is known as Operation Paperclip, in which a bunch of Nazis were brought over because they could do rockets.
And brought you on the old Windows NT, the little guy that came over. Can I help you?
Clippy?
Yes. Do you need some assistance? That was that guy. That's where it all came from.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
You gotta love it.
Let's see. July 8th, 1865. 4 of the conspirators in the Lincoln assassination are hanged in Washington, D.C. Not hung. When a man is hung, that means he has a giant dick. When he's hanged, it means he died.
Grammar is important.
So.
Oh. I'm stealing that one. That's a good one.
It's true.
I'm sure they all would like to have been hung.
Yes, I'm sure that every one of them would have loved to have been hung.
Would have made the hanging faster.
Let's see, July 9th, 1942. Anne Frank and her family go into hiding in the attic above her father's office. And there you can see the secret passage door that was made out of the bookshelf to get up there. And of course, later on, we found had the diary, not to be confused with Helen Keller.
One time I did that. One time.
You're never living that down, no matter how many tacos.
Oh, no. No.
He was like, oh, and it was amazing that she couldn't see or talk. And I was like, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yep.
Do you think Anne Frank is Helen Keller? He's like, nope, not anymore.
Not anymore. I had a bad day.
Let's see, July 10th, 1985.
Hey.
Coca-Cola announces it will resume selling old Coke following the public outcry and falling sales of new Coke.
Pablo Escobar at the very same time said that he will be supplying new Coke to everyone on Wall Street because the old Coke was gone. The 80s were fun, not gonna lie.
Yep.
A lot of new and old Coke back then.
Let's see, July 11th.
they made Karate Kid. Like, yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah. July 11th, 1975, archaeologists unearth. Oh shit! I just lost my place. Unearth. There we go. An army of 8,000 life-size clay figures created more than 2,000 years ago for the Emperor Qin Shi Huang, later known as the Terracotta Soldiers. I'm not really sure what the story is, and I don't know if they know exactly what the story is. Did you think he was taking this into the afterlife?
I'm not sure. I might know.
Literally, everything I learned about that was in The Mummy.
Well,
Literally everything I know about that.
That was the second Mummy movie, right?
Yeah, I think so.
There's like 4.
There's been a few, yeah. Not the one with The Rock.
No, it's
Jet Li was in that one.
It's not a Mummy movie. That's a Rock movie. It's like Predator. There's only 2 of them.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, there's only 2.
Yeah.
Would you say the other ones are part of the Aliens franchise?
More? One of them's part of the Lethal Weapon franchise.
Yeah. Get too old for this shit. Aliens and shit.
Yeah.
Danny fucking Glover. That's
Right,
very
Danny.
funny.
I'm too old for this shit, Glover.
Glover, yeah.
Right.
Who, by the way, was 41 when he was too old for this shit. So
Right.
I'm
So-
really too old for this shit.
Ooh, pop quiz. Who's his son?
It's not Donald Glover, is it?
The lead singer of it's Corey Glover, the lead singer of Living Color.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did not know that. That is
Right?
random.
I didn't learn that till a lot later in
And
life.
he was also in Platoon.
Yep.
The son.
The son was
Corey
in
Glover.
Corey was in Platoon.
He was an actor before he was a
Holy
singer.
Shit. Yeah, he
Yep.
was.
I know, right? What a cool family. Like,
Yeah. That's cool stories to share. I mean,
Yeah.
damn.
I didn't know he was. I knew he was in Platoon, but I didn't know the other one.
Yeah.
That they were related. I've seen some idiots go. Who'd you say, Donald Glover?
Donald
and they're
Glover.
completely not related.
Yeah.
I would just say, Black Glover, maybe.
Well, that's
Could
it's
be.
like not every black person named Glover is related to each other. I guess.
I need proof. I need proof.
Let's see. July 12th, 1974. G. Gordon Liddy, John Ehrlichman, and 2 others are convicted of conspiracy and perjury in connection with the Watergate break-in. I'm pretty sure Liddy's the guy on the bottom with the awesome beard who now rocks just a mustache that's just as awesome.
Yeah, that dude has like actor, like leading man level facial hair.
Right?
Yeah, pretty awesome facial hair.
The guy next to him is Red Foreman.
I think that's
like
really
Bob
funny.
Foreman.
Yeah.
It's like Bob Foreman, his brother that never made it famous. You're like Jerry Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother's Jesus. I'm Jerry Christ. Screw you guy.
Blue Foreman, yeah, he looks just like him. Damn. And I can't see Nixon and not think Futurama every time I see
Oh,
him.
I know. Haru. Yeah.
Oh,
They picked the best president.
I agree. I 100% agree with that.
And finally, July 13th, 1585, a group of 108 English colonists led by Sir Richard Grenville reaches Roanoke Island, North Carolina. And of course, I'm assuming we all know the story. They disappear without a trace other than the word Croatoan being carved into a tree. No one knows where they went.
No.
To this day.
I'm going to guess somewhere in the woods. You know?
Well, my assumption, this is going to sound kind of racist, but the natives did eat people. So if they were eaten, there wouldn't really be a lot of evidence.
Still, they'd be in the woods. They'd get crapped out
Well,
somewhere.
yes, that's true. They would be in the woods. Yes, you're correct. You're correct.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like conspiracies. I love a good conspiracy.
But I don't know
Yeah.
who like it's written English characters, so it wasn't a native that carved the word.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Maybe it means, ouch, I'm being eaten.
It could be,
You know?
yeah. This is what I can carve while I'm being eaten. It doesn't make any sense. Nope.
Right? It's not like you're carving your, help me in blood on the ground. You know what I mean? Help. Your kidney falls out as a period. And you're like, well, there it is. I'm done writing.
It's like, took care of that for me.
Yeah. I think it was I think they just drank the Kool-Aid and they had a little walk into the ocean moment.
That could also be. That also wouldn't really leave any evidence unless
Yep.
they happen to wash back up. But, yeah.
Were they all wearing Nikes?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think they had Nikes back then. Not sure. I wasn't there.
No,
But
I'm guessing they had those idiotic buckle shoes.
But those buckles will weigh you down. I was just going for that too. Them buckles will weigh you down, and you jump in the ocean. You're just
why
like,
do you have buckles on your shoes and a buckle on your hat? How many buckles do you fucking need on your outfit?
You gotta love like the fashion choices of that moment. You know?
I agree. I do. I would love to. If I were to have a time machine and I would be able to time travel without repercussions of paradoxes, I would be the ultimate tourist and I would just go check it out and I would ask, I'm like, why in the fuck are you wearing this thing? Like, what are you doing?
Why are we all wearing buckles?
What is with the buckles? I don't
See,
mean to
that
sound
would-
side.
that
What's
could be
with all the buckles?
That could be the catalyst that changes the buckle fashions. They were like, I don't know. This is
See, that's what I mean. I don't want to have I don't want to have an impact.
Okay.
I just want to go check it out. I don't want to go look. I don't want to go see and just ask, stupid questions and then go get tacos.
They're like, we don't have those yet.
Oh,
well.
fuck this place.
I'm going back.
You introduce tacos and then that fucks up
Marty,
the entire
we gotta go
timeline.
back. And there's no tacos.
You
We
come
got to
back to this
introduce
moment in
tacos to
time.
ancient Mesoamerica.
Yep.
Oh, I just love the idea that somebody was like, you know what would make these shoes better? Some loud, jingling fucking buckles. That's what's gonna do it. That'll take it over the top. That's exactly
They don't
what we
fit
need.
right. Well, so do they cinch? No. Do they?
That's
do
just a
they-
buckle. It's decorative. It's
But
not
they,
even.
but they
it's
rub
even-
right here. They rub the tendons. Yeah, that's good. Are they
just
comfortable?
there.
No.
Not at
Oh,
all.
they make the shoes heavy
Are
as
they
shit.
functional? No. I swear to God, men were women back then. I gotta have these shoes.
Oh shit! I
Yep,
can
they're
totally
Prada.
see
I
that.
gotta have them.
Do these pantyhose make you look fat?
How about this wig?
Yeah.
No.
How about my
No, but the
wig?
buckle on your hat does.
But the buckle on the hat sets
And those
it
damn
off.
hats in general, though. I mean, man. But I imagine they would look at us today. It's like, what's up with all these damn pronouns?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, yeah.
They'd probably think burn them.
They would be. Burn him.
Oh
He's
yeah,
a witch.
yeah. Burn everybody. You walked outside in sweatpants, burn him. You didn't even put on your buckle shoes, burn him. Not one buckle to be found.
Oh shit!
I mean, I understand the wigs. That was the thing. You know why the wigs, right?
oh, the syphilis.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
all know that one because we're all scared of having to wear a wig at some point. So
Well, we have
that was
penicillin
my
now.
scared straight. That was the whole thing in 8th grade. They showed us those wig movies. I was like, I'm never touching a woman. I swear to God.
That'll scare the shit out of you. I tell you. It's like, especially when you see how they die. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that is a terrible
You're like,
fucking
what?
death.
This is what happens if you let a girl, ask you, go out with you. I'm like, oh my God.
This is what holding hands leads
Holding
to?
hand. There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying
Oh, no.
for. Fuck. Thanks for the assist. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get the stats on that one. That whole thing in middle school, and I grew up in a really a very small town, so it was a whole lot of that sort of bonkers mentality of like 6 years behind the curve sort of thing. So like we didn't get dare until we already did all the drugs. Like,
You're like, so you're daring me to do more?
oh wait, we gotta do more. That's funny. No, Trevor and I actually have a deal about doing drugs because we never did drugs as young men or as old men now. But if his wife dies and he and I are both single, we are what would be the word? Odd coupling it into a hotel room. We're gonna do all the
We're gonna
drugs.
try everything.
Holy shit.
Well, we're old and broken, and our shit doesn't work.
Your body's already wrecked.
It's toast.
So, like, why would you do like cocaine or heroin?
Yeah.
When your body's in good shape, do it when you're old and you're about to die anyways. What difference does it
Like,
make if you
I
die
got
from the coke or the
I
heroin?
got 6 weeks. They told me 6 weeks. What? They said 6 weeks. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna get an 8-ball, some needles. Woo!
You might fuck around and be able to hear each other if you do that.
Yeah,
for
maybe.
around.
Well, it'll be fun.
Oh.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be hilarious. It's gonna be a hell of a week.
Yeah.
The fucked up part is we're probably gonna survive it, and we're gonna be broke, and the people are gonna be like, "All right, you have to leave the hotel room now." We're like, "Oh man."
And you guys will be like damn near vegetables.
And you have to pay for the cleanup because you still shit yourself all over the place. You just didn't die.
Yeah.
It's like, sir, you're still shitting yourself as I'm talking to you right now.
Hang on. Let me get another bump. Maybe I can finish this off.
Yeah. Get off my lawn. Yeah. So that's the plan. I mean, might as well flush it when it's ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm not flushing it anytime soon. I want to live. I have too many guitars to buy. I have a problem.
And tacos.
I-
Guitars
well,
and tacos.
Yeah.
Guitars and tacos. That's what makes life worth living,
It
bud.
really does. There's trees and swimming pools and Eddie Van Halen.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna get guitars and tacos on a shirt. That's just
Yes!
too well.
Yes!
That'll be our next merch.
Yeah,
That'll be our next merch.
That'll be our
Guitars and
next merch.
tacos.
I've got my new YouTube page set up, and I'm trying to get it working with the thing I bought. I need Trevor to come over and hook up my computer.
I can help you.
But I am the okayest guitarist on YouTube. I'm gonna just be like,
I love okayest
average,
guitarist.
average. Just, these guys are like, I'm just gonna be like, burr, burr, burr. Yeah, get it. It's all about the vibe, bro.
As
Just,
long as you got the head nod. As long as you got the head nod, you're good to go.
My tempo's great. I ain't gonna lie. It's just the rest of it.
It's like it's the actual playing of the instrument.
No, that's not a thing. But yeah, that's gonna be fun. Little tips and tricks and just side stuff that nobody, because Trevor and I've discussed this before in the disciplines that suit my proclivities. There is no 101 level anything on the internet. There's an assumption of knowledge that you have to already know all of this shit before they're like, oh, here's some tips and tricks and a fast track to this and a super fast track to that and this. No, dude, your finger goes here. Like, this is how you plug it in. This is why this cable does this. Nothing exists for that. So there's somebody out there at a novice level is like, and I've even educated guys who've been playing for years. I'm like, you're using a speaker cable for your guitar cable, bro. That copper, there's a reason you sound like
sounds like shit.
Sounds like shit, bro. There's
putting all these pedals in here and it doesn't sound
way
any
too much copper in that cable, bro. It's called ohms, and it's not the thing you do on the weekend with your hippy dippy smoking girlfriend. Home, because you had to go to the pavilion. Like, I'm just saying.
Butterflies.
That's it. That's it.
No, I get you. I mean, that's with everything, though. Like, I do a lot of, DIY stuff around the house. And, like, literally, I looked up how to make a wine barrel cooler. And, like, as I'm going through, it's like, oh, yeah, you do this, you cut the semicircle. I'm like, but where am I going to get the jig to do the cut?
To do the thing. Yeah. Wait. There's steps. The drywall guys, those are my favorite. Because they get this stuff and they're like, do. And people are like, oh, I can go do my own drywall. I'm like, bitch, he spent 4 hours with some dish soap and water and buckets of premix and mixed that drywall to get that consistency. Just that part alone took him out the morning with the tool and the thing and the just the right amount of water, just the right amount of dish soap. No, you're not getting that butter, that smooth of stuff out of any bucket from Home Depot. It doesn't come that way.
Agreed. I know that all too well. Like, damn, I know that all too well.
Crumbs everywhere. You're like, ah!
Yeah, it's like people skip over the basics all the time.
All the time. All the fundamental stuff everybody gets lost on. So, I don't know. We're going to do that.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
We're over time.
We're at the end.
We're at the end.
This is the end, my friend. I see.
That's it.
That's up a good conversation.
Got some tunage. Oh, yeah. If you guys want these tunes, Trevor's going to put them up on mantoolsmedia.com. This is Eric Can't Sleep, song number 6,480. So he's just making shit up. Larry, tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm not really anywhere yet. My wife calls me a recluse. Like, no social medias, no anything.
Oh.
But gonna start doing that moving forward. So hopefully if you guys ever do anything again, you invite a brother back on. It was a good time, good chat.
Anytime. Sorry, it's really smoky, messy, and humid here. Oh, but we're gonna get out of this beat and let everybody know that Saturday night, July 15th, this was booked last night, swear to God, at 7 p.m. at the VFW Post 101, the okayest guitarist in the world is going to play for a bunch of heroes and entertain them with some acoustic comedy and whatever else I can pull out of my ass for that night. And hopefully it'll go an hour and a half and I get paid. That'll be great. Local members, Man Tools at the Movies, Bigorexia Part 2 is out and available. Get all of our members-only content for just $3 a month at mantoolsminions.locals.com. And check out this month's episode, Taking the Ted Pill, which comes out tomorrow.
It will. We're going to record it tonight.
That's it. I'm going to change my shirt so we look like we're doing more stuff, but it doesn't really matter. Merch. I mentioned this earlier. Go to merch.mantoolsmedia.com. You can get the Harambe variant t-shirt as well as a whole bunch of hoodies and stickers and what was the newest one? Shit, that one was
the newest one was Don't Skip Leg Day.
Yep, Don't Skip Leg Day. That was hilarious. Don't do it. Do not.
Can't be legendary if you skip leg day.
Cannot be legendary if you skip leg day. Get free shipping if you're in our Facebook group and 20% off if you're a Locals member. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Find them at sponsors.mantoolsmedia.com. Thank you for watching and or listening wherever you're listening to podcasts on the web at mantoolsmedia.com. Social media is at links.co/mantoolsmedia. Prepare yourself for crippling disappointment. That's it for us tonight. Larry, thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys having me. It was fun.
All right, man. Stick around. We'll say proper goodbyes, but we'll see the audience later. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
There it is.